Hi, I'm Atul Choudrie. I'm CEO of OnePulse. We looked at the research industry, and we realized that as other industries are going through disruption, research actually isn't going through disruption. And if you look at how companies like SurveyMonkey are raising billions, worth billions, doing lots of consumer insight, they're still using old-fashioned methods. So you used to go into, you used to be stopped in the street, and there'll be a little tick box that you have to ask a few questions, you do the tick box. And then the web came along, and they took that same survey, and they put it online. So instead of ticking, you were clicking. And then mobile came along, and they took the same process again, but made the font smaller. So you're doing exactly the same survey, but now you're doing it on mobile. And we looked at the reason they were doing that, and it was very, very non-user-centric. So we decided to relook at it from a user's point of view, a respondent's point of view. The market size, so it's 40 billion in companies that do market research, but there's an even bigger market, a 40 billion plus market of people that actually don't do market research. So real businesses that find it too expensive, that find it too time-consuming, and just don't understand it. So they end up making decisions based on assumptions. 3 reasons: time, cost, and because it's so difficult, you have to be a researcher to do research. And we wanted research to be available on every desktop. So everyone within every organization, if it's easy enough, if it's quick enough, and if you don't need the skills to be a researcher, then everyone can do research. And by doing that, we have created an app for users. We looked at the sort of engagement rates that people like SurveyMonkey have. They have a 3-4% open rate. If you think of a survey, the first 5-10 questions are all about understanding your demographics. You're spending a lot of time going in, I'm male, this is the age group I am, and then the next 3 questions are the killer questions that a brand really cares about. But by the time the users got to that, they're just going B, B, B. So we've pulled it out. We've split the initial demographics from the actual 3 questions that people care about. And that's why we get response rates now. So that's a real-life example where we got 100 responses from an audience in 3 minutes, 13 seconds. 3 things that do that. The basics. So no one wants a 1 in 10,000 chance of winning an iPad. We reward people in cash, in real time, straight to their PayPal. It shouldn't take more than 30 seconds, 40 seconds to complete a pulse. It's no more than 3 questions. We're competing with millennials that are on Twitter, that are on Tinder, that are chasing Pokemon, so they don't have time to do 20-minute surveys. And then we added, and the biggest driver that we did is no one wants to just sit there on a survey app. So we've actually built a lifestyle app. We've got the ex-editor of big news corporations, big media outlets who use the mechanics of a survey to push out content. So we sit in the middle where we've taken the best of social, we've taken all of the research stuff from research companies, and we've taken from media as well. So 85% of our respondents respond to pulses unprompted. 40% of our growth is on referral. That's never happened in a research or in a survey type company. We get a 65% comment rate, and the industry average is 6%. And we launched 18 months ago, and we've already had 17 million responses. We've got 70,000 users in 18 months. Toluna takes 24 hours to do 150 questions. We take 6 minutes. Qualtrics charge you thousands plus to do 150 questions. We do it in $100. SurveyMonkey gets you an 8% response rate. We can get 90%. We've got 150 clients, everyone from agencies to brands to startups. We've got case studies where people have won contracts, people have won awards, and people have won significant pieces of work just by doing research much, much quicker. Every one of our clients is spending more and more with us every month. So we've made it addictive, not just for the people that are responding, but we've made it addictive for brands as well. We do 3 models: pay-as-you-go, Most of our clients come in pay-as-you-go, they switch to subscription, and then they move to bulk buys. 25 people, 1.2 million in revenue. We've seen a 200% annual growth, and we launched in the US last month. We've had 3 million funding to date from Publicis Group, Next 15, the biggest agency, one of the biggest agency networks in the world, and Foundation Capital. And we're now looking for another 6 million to begin to own the market so that you can pulse the world. Thank you.